Welcome one and all, this is Chaz Spahn from Adaptiva, and today I'm going to demonstrate our upcoming product, Evolve VM. This software will be Adaptiva's endpoint compliance and vulnerability management product. Adaptiva Evolve VM comes with 3 different types of checks and will allow you to scan your environment for known security vulnerabilities from the NIST National Vulnerability Database, variances from your compliance baselines, whether that's a custom baseline created within the product, or if you choose to use one of the CIS baselines that we pull in for you, and issues with the health of your endpoints, whether that is a WMI issue, registry issue, or perhaps checking for the implementation of security features such as BitLocker or Device Guard. If found, many of these results can be immediately remediated without your administrators having to visit those desktops. You will not only be able to customize these remediations, but you can create your own workflows to solve any issues that you discover in your environment. This can all be done with our visual workflow authoring, so you will never have to write a line of code. All of this leverages Adaptiva's peer-to-peer technology platform to speed the delivery of policies without impacting your network's bandwidth. That's right, even if the remediation includes the installation of an updated version of software, the content will be delivered quickly yet silently as the WAN is protected throughout the process. Let's take a look at how it works. So here is the new Evolve VM dashboard. This is going to be the point where you come in and see all of the vulnerabilities and remediations that have been occurring within your environment. You'll be able to see which offices are vulnerable, the top most vulnerable devices, the top most recent failing checks. So this is going to be your command center to be able to see exactly what's going on in your environment. So first thing we're going to do, you'll notice that everything here is zeroed out, right? So I have not run a scan yet to see what's going on in our environment. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So we'll switch on over to our Evolve VM workbench, the Adaptiva workbench. And you'll notice I've got 2 policies here, the scan only and scan and remediate. Scan only is obviously, like it says, it's going to go ahead and scan for these vulnerabilities, but it will not perform remediation. So this is going to give us the ability to see what's going on in our environment and make decisions before we move on. You'll see here I've got 500 checks. So out of the 11,000 vulnerabilities that we've pulled in from the National Vulnerability Database, I've chose 500 to be able to send out throughout my environment and check. And so I'm going to go ahead and kick that off here. And if we switch back on over to our dashboard, we'll be able to see those start to run. So we can see that number climbing. And what's happening here in the background is I've got 20 devices and they're spread out over 5 offices. So 5 distinct subnets that I've got clients in. And what's happening with Adaptiva products, because it's lying on top of that Evolve platform, we're taking advantage of that power of peer-to-peer. So in other words, we're only going to send each policy out across the WAN link once to each office, and then within that office, that policy will get shared using peer-to-peer means. So we can see we're done here. We've run 10,000 scans. That's those 500 vulnerabilities against 20 machines. So that gives us our 10,000 scans. And right now our environment is nice and clean. Right? So we've scanned those devices, but it didn't find anything. And that makes sense because we got a perfect lab environment here that is not attached to the internet. So it hasn't been infected with any vulnerabilities. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's actually inject some vulnerabilities into this environment. So I've got an executable here that I call inject vulnerabilities. And what this executable is it's actually a workflow in the product itself. And with Adaptiva, we give you a drag and drop visual editor to be able to create your own workflows. And once you've created a workflow, we can expose that out as an executable. We can turn it into a PowerShell commandlet, or we can expose it through our APIs so that you can call that from any other program that you need to. So I've injected those vulnerabilities into our environment. And now let's go scan again and see what kind of damage we did. So I'm going to rerun the scan only so that we can see exactly what's going on. We'll zoom back over here. And so we'll watch those run. We've already found our first vulnerability. We'll watch the number of devices secure, or the percentage of devices secure, go down. 5 vulnerabilities on 10 devices. We're at 50%. Ooh, 21 on 14. And we're done. All right, all 10,000 scans have run. We found 21 vulnerabilities on 14 different devices. So here you can see that all of the charts have now filled in. We can start to see what our vulnerable offices are, the most vulnerable devices, what the top failing checks are. I can click on these and drill down into them. But let's actually go and clean this up now. So we'll switch back over to our dashboard once again. And now we're going to run the scan and remediate, which has the exact same 500 vulnerabilities pulled into it. But this time I've checked the box to remediate when the vulnerability is detected. So watch what happens to our vulnerabilities now. So we'll run that. You can see the execution results will always show within the workbench itself. But rather than trying to read this information as it comes in here, it's much easier and nicer to see it as it happens in the dashboard. So we can see this number's already climbing up there. We've already remediated 15 vulnerabilities. Oh, all of our vulnerabilities are done. So just that quickly, we went across all 20 machines in all 5 offices. We went across that WAN link 5 times, once for each office, and then shared that out via the power of peer-to-peer. Those machines then were able to fix themselves, remediate those vulnerabilities, and now we're back up to 100% devices secure. So hopefully that gives you a good first look at Evolve VM. If you have any questions or you'd like to have a one-on-one demo to see exactly how this could work in your environment, please go to www.adaptiva.com and request a demonstration today. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.